Hello, welcome back to my new video. I have started daily series that's day 10. We are seeing some question in previous video. That's are something. What are URLs? How can I create? And some JavaScript questions. String. How can I paste implement? Okay. There are some questions. You can watch that video after that you can come and let's see what's yeah in this in previous video there are some important question like what is polyfill and break and continue statement. So there are one example is showing how the break and continuous are working, and I have shown you some videos also. Okay, I guess that's for yesterday's video. Now today we can start with tree shaking. I guess it's also, yeah, that's also going. Okay. From 161 we can start it. So how do you change the style of a HTML element? So you can change inline style or class name of the HTML element using JavaScript. Using property, you can modify an inline style using style property, document.getElement by ID, or using class name property. Okay, that's two property that can be changed HTML style of HTML element. Would you be the result of 1 plus 2 plus 3? That's 3 is a string. That's 33. Okay, what is debugging statement? The debugging statement invoke any available debugging function such as setting a breakpoint. If no debugging function is available, the statement has no effect. Uh, there are some example. What is the purpose of breakpoint in debugging? You can set breakpoint in the JavaScript code once the debug statement is executed and the debugging window pops up, at which breakpoint JavaScript will stop executing and let you examine the JavaScript value. After examining value, you can resume the execution of the code using the play button. Can I use reserved work as identifiers? No, you can't use the reserved words as variable, label, object, or function name. How do you delete a mobile browser? So you can use regex which return a true or false value depending on whether or not the user is browsing with a mobile. So how do you detect a mobile browser without re ex- so you can delete mobile browser by simply running through a list of your devices and checking if the user agent match anything. This is alternative solution of Region Express. Okay. How do you get a image width and height using JavaScript? This dot width and this dot height. That's the thing. How do you make synchronous HTTP request? Browser provides an XML HTTP request object which can be used to make synchronous HTTP requests from JavaScript. Okay, asynchronous, that's not a same, but how do you convert data? How do you convert date to another time zone in JavaScript? So you can use the local string method to convert date in one time zone to another. For example, what are the properties used to get size of window? You can use inner width, inner height, inner width, blind width, blind height, properties of windows, document element and document body object to find the size of a window. Let us then combinations of these properties to calculate the size of window or document. Condition operator. What is conditional operator in JavaScript? The conditional temporary operator is the only JavaScript operator that takes three operands which acts as a shortcut for if statements. Yeah. That's the thing, I guess. Okay. Can you apply chaining or condition operator? Yes. You can apply chaining or condition operator similarly to if, else if, else if, else change. The syntax is going to be below. Okay. There is value and conditions. Function is some para. Okay. If condition and return value, else if condition return value to, else if conditions return value, and else. So we can use else if and condition. That's the thing they used. What are the ways to execute JavaScript after page load? Okay. Window.onload, document.onload, body.onload. What is the difference between proto and prototype? Okay, there are some difference in proto and prototype. So the proto object is the actual object that is used to the lookup chain to resolve method, etc. Whereas prototype is an object that used to build proto when you create an object with new. So there are few difference. They use access. All the function constructor have prototype property. All the object have proto property. Purpose are used to reduce memory wastage in a single copy of function. Used to lookup chain to resolve method constructor, etc. ECMA script introduced in ES6 and it introduced in ES5. Frequently used, rarely used. Can you give an example of when you really need a semicolon? So it is recommended to use semicolon after every statement in JavaScript. For example, there are some uh, in case it thrown an error, it not a function at runtime due to missing semicolon. Okay, what is freeze method? The freeze method is used to freeze an object. Freezing an object does not allow addition. Adding new property to an object prevents removing and prevents changing the enumerability, enumerability, configurability, or writability or existing property. That is, it returns the pass object and is object and does not create a frozen copy. So remember, freezing is only applied to the top level property in object but not for nested object. What is the purpose of freeze method? It used for freezing object and array. It used to make an object immutable. Why do I need to use freeze method? In the object-oriented paradigm, an existing API contains creation elements that are not iterates to an extended modifiers or are reused outside of their current content. It work as a final keyword which is used in various language. How do you detect a browser language performance? So you can navigate object to detail a browser language performance below. How to convert string to little title case of with JavaScript. Title case means that the first letter of each word is capital. You can convert a string to little case using below function to little case string dot replace to. Okay, that's the code. How do you delete JavaScript disable in the page? You can use the mo- no script tag to detect JavaScript disable or not. The code block inside no script gets executed when JavaScript is disabled and is typically used to display alternative content when the page generate in JavaScript. What are the various operators supported by JavaScript? Arithmetic operator, comparison operator, logical operator, assignment operator, ternary operator, type of operator. So I guess that not be written in my. Okay, it's useful when. Okay, that's some operators. What is a rest parameter? Rest parameter is an improved way to handle function parameter which allows us to represent an indefined number of argument as an arrow array. Parameter is parameter. What happen if you do not use rest parameter as a last argument? The rest parameter should be the last argument as its job is to collect all the remaining argument into an array. For example, if you define a function like below, it doesn't make any sense and will throw an error. What are the bitwise operator available in JavaScript? Bitwise and bitwise or bitwise XOR bitwise not left shift. That's some operators used in JavaScript. What is a print operator? So sprint operator is array object string to be executed into a single argument element. That's the sprint operator. How do you determine whether object is frozen or not? Object is frozen method is used to determine if an object is frozen or not. An object is frozen if all the below condition true. It is not extendi- extensible if all of these properties are not configurable, if all its data properties are not returnable. The use is going be as follow. How do you detect two variables same or not using object? The object dot is method determine whether two objects are same value. For example, there is some used hello hello or window window. Yeah. So to purpose of using object is method. It used for comparison of two string. It used for comparison of two number. It used for comparison the polarity of two number. Uh, it used for comparison of two object. How do you copy properties from one object to another? You can use the property.assign method, which is used to copy the value and properties from one or more source object to a target object. It returns the target object which has property and value copy from the source object. The syntax would be an below. What are the applications of assign method? It is used for cloning an object. It is used to merge object with the sub properties. Which what is an proxy object? The proxy object is used to define custom behavior for fundamental operators such as property, lookup, assign, enumerations function, innovation, etc. A proxy is greeting with two parameter, a target object which you want to proxy and a handled object which contains methods to intercept function operator. The syntax would be as follow. Seal method. The object.seal method is used to seal an object by preventing new property from behind adding to it and marketing all existing property as non-configurable, but value of presence property can still be changed as long as they are returnable. Let's see what are the application of seal method. What are it used for sealing object and array. It is used to make an object immutable. What are the difference between freeze and seal method? So if an object is frozen using the object or freeze method, then its property become immutable and no change can be made in this, where if an object is still using the object.steal method, then the change can be made in the existing property of object. How do you determine if an object is still or not? The object.steal method is used to determine if an object is still or not. An object is still if all the property is true. So if it is not extensible if all of these property are non configurable, if it is not removable but not necessary, not readable. Let's see in the action. Okay, that's thing. How do you get enumerable key and value pair? The object.entry method is used to return an array for of a given object over enumerable string key property key value pair in the same order as the provided by a foreign loop. We let's see the functionality of object.entire method. Okay, what is the main difference between object.value and object.entries? The object.value method behave as similar to object.entries method, but it returns an array of value instead, key value pairs. Okay, then that's for today.